Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, Bitcoin has fallen back to a key level of support, the 20 exponential moving average. This level of support is one of the most important on Bitcoin's chart and needs to hold, but that obviously doesn't mean that it will. So in today's video, we're going to be outlining this bearish correction on Bitcoin that we talked about in yesterday's video and trying to figure out where Bitcoin goes from here. If you guys want to see all of the technicals surrounding Bitcoin right now and get a better understanding of where Bitcoin is heading next, then I highly encourage you watch to the end of this video. Guys, before we get into it, I do also want to mention that I've just posted a bunch of new trade ideas over in the first cohort. If you guys aren't already in, you should check the link in the description down below. That's our private group where we trade together, we learn together. That's where I run the Coffee and Crypto morning live streams that I just finished doing. And it's also where I get to know you guys on a one-on-one individualized basis. So if you're interested in joining, the link is down below. More on that at the end of the video, but for now, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, we talked about this correction in yesterday's video. So if the MACD crosses bearish, that's not the end of the world because the MACD could very easily cause Bitcoin to pull back here to around $7,800, which we'll be talking about in a second, and then we very well may bounce from there, rallying up to this 200 daily simple moving average and breaking through it in the next few months, maybe later on into February. As I talked about in yesterday's video, a pullback to and actually below the 20 exponential moving averages was quite likely, and that movement has now started. As you guys can see, over the last 14 hours or so, Bitcoin has been correcting and we did pull back around 4%. Now, that's nothing major, but it is the start of a movement, a bearish movement. And the reason that that's important, guys, is because it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to stop here. As you can see on the hourly chart, which is what we're looking at right now, Bitcoin is at the moment trying to stage a little bit of a recovery, but I'm not totally confident in it. I have a feeling that Bitcoin's going to actually fall below the 20 exponential moving averages. And the reason I say that, guys, is because on the daily chart, Bitcoin has been in an uptrend for quite some time. In fact, if we look at the entire uptrend, it was 32 days long and it was 40%. That is not insignificant considering the fact that Bitcoin has been moving to the downside for the last 6 to 7 months or so. And there is one thing I want to talk about before we get into the rest of the analysis, and that is, guys, there's a lot of support below Bitcoin, so this is not really a run around like a chicken with your head cut off, FUD all out of your Bitcoin position scenario. This is really more of a buy the dip scenario. So that's not financial advice, but this is definitely a buying opportunity if you agree with me in that Bitcoin is probably going to be having some kind of recovery here over the next couple of weeks. Let's dive into that. As you guys will know, 20 exponential moving averages are very, very strong. If you're in CT2A, there's an entire video dedicated to that one interval exponential moving average. The reason is because it's important on almost every single time frame. Everyone looks at it here on the daily chart, and also, as you will know, on the weekly chart, Bitcoin is testing both of those moving averages. And guys, look, Bitcoin might hold here. Bitcoin might actually bounce off of the 20 EMAs. They are very strong, so don't take this as me saying that we're definitely going to go below them, but there is a pretty good chance, in my opinion, that we do. And I'm actually going to show you why that's an insanely bullish thing, and I'm going to do an entirely dedicated video to this. But for now, I have a feeling that Bitcoin's going to pull back to $7,800. I'll show you why. As you can see here on the daily chart, that bearish MACD cross that we've been talking about for nearly a week has come to fruition. And obviously, now that that's happened, Bitcoin is looking a little bit more bearish. It just so happens that our bearish candlestick right here lines up perfectly with that bearish MACD cross, which is, quite frankly, not surprising in the slightest. As I showed you in yesterday's video, whenever there's a bearish MACD cross on Bitcoin, it normally results in a 20 to a 30% correction, and this time might not be very different. I think it's going to be a little bit smaller than that, though. In this case, I think it's only going to be about a 10% correction, because as you guys will know, we have a weekly chart MACD cross coming in on the bullish side to help us moving on here into the next couple of weeks. With that said, my prediction is that Bitcoin is going to fall below the 20 exponential moving averages, and Bitcoin is going to come down to around $7,800 to $8,000, and hopefully we're going to hold there. There is a reason to believe that Bitcoin might go lower than that. It is very possible that Bitcoin pulls back as far as like $7,400, $7,600. It is definitely a possibility that that happens, but I think Bitcoin's going to find support somewhere above $7,400. As I showed you in yesterday's video, there is a major VPVR climax sitting at almost exactly $7,800. So guys, let's get into why this is actually a good thing and not a bad thing for Bitcoin. We're going to jump to full screen here for a second because I want to make something very apparent to you guys, and that is that when Bitcoin has a correction, it's not a bad thing. I've said this in a few videos, but I want to briefly say it again. A lot of people think that, oh, Bitcoin's having a correction. Crap, time to freak out, time to sell my bags, time to lose my head and start losing my mind. That's not the way that you should look at this. When Bitcoin has a correction, that's actually a very good thing. The reason that's a very good thing is because, as you guys will know, Bitcoin has been in an uptrend for the last 32 days. It rallied 40%. We were already in a downtrend. Bitcoin needed to consolidate. So what we're seeing here is not some kind of doomsday crash. What we're seeing here is that the bulls are taking a break and the bears are taking profits. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see the bulls take a break. We want to see the bears take a profit. And then we were able to see the bulls come back into power and continue the rally here on into the next several weeks, especially considering how much support we have below us. And guys, look, yes, the longs are pulling back. That's fine. That gives us more room to run. But also at the same time, we can see that the RSI is pulling back and resetting so that we're not so overbought on the RSI. And also, guys, one thing that I've been holding out on you for the entire video is that Bitcoin is actually forming a very long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern. I'm probably the first person to talk about this. I haven't seen any YouTube videos on it, and tomorrow's video is going to be dedicated to it. But I wanted to show you this. That's a shoulder. That's a head, and if we pull back to $7,800, guess what that is, guys? It's not only a strong level of support, it is also a shoulder line. Bitcoin pulling back to $7,800 might actually be one of the best things that has happened to Bitcoin in the last several months. If Bitcoin does pull back to $7,800 or so, maybe even a little bit lower, maybe we have a little bit of an extra pullback over here where Bitcoin was trying to be all fancy, then it is very possible that Bitcoin bounces from there and that we form a very long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern that could propel Bitcoin quite a bit farther to the upside. Like I said, guys, this is a buy the dip kind of situation. This is not a freak out kind of situation. If Bitcoin falls below like $6,900, that's when you start running around like a chicken with your head cut off. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Okay, but there's nothing to really be concerned about here on Bitcoin just yet. There's something else I actually wanted to show you guys, and it's really cool. I haven't talked about this a lot on the channel, but there's a kind of candlestick pattern, and it looks like this, where you have a red candlestick, a green candlestick, and then another red candlestick. That is traditionally going to cause a major red candlestick to come next. We saw a similar thing happen over here where Bitcoin was green, red, and then green again. You have a green candlestick, a red candlestick that did not engulf the previous candlestick, and then a green engulfing candlestick. That's always going to be a bullish thing. Same thing's true on the bearish side. This kind of formation is always going to be a bearish thing. But guess what we're doing out on the weekly chart, guys? We're looking at a red candlestick that has a decent chance of actually holding at the 20 exponential moving average. And if it does, before this week closes, if Bitcoin holds above wherever the bottom of this candlestick is, around 8,190, then Bitcoin's going to create a red candlestick that is smaller, that has a lower bottom than our previous green candlestick. And then if we see a green candlestick the next week, that's going to be insanely bullish. And that could actually propel Bitcoin above our important moving averages like the 200 daily, and then get Bitcoin back up to like $9,000, $9,500. That's something I want to point out, guys, is that a lot of times I don't talk about actual just Japanese candlestick analysis, but it is important and it is powerful on Bitcoin charts, so make sure you're checking that out as well when you're doing your analysis. But guys, here's the gist. This is why I'm so happy about Bitcoin right now. First of all, we're having a correction, we're having consolidation, Bitcoin's locking in gains, all of that's great. But check this out. Do you see what I see on Backed? I see 500 contracts on Backed. I remember they were about 3,000 on Backed not too long ago. I don't know about you guys, but 500 contracts is not actually that much for Backed considering how many it's had in the past. But what's really cool here is that Backed has that few of contracts and there's that little interest in the space from the institutions. And also, frankly, there's not a whole lot of volume in the space, but even still, Bitcoin is having a rally. What does that mean, guys? Well, we are seeing a period of quiet. We're seeing a period where there's not a whole lot of activity going on in this market, but even still, we're seeing an uptrend on Bitcoin, which means that when all the activity comes back to Bitcoin, when all the news comes back to Bitcoin, when all of the retail and the institutions come back into Bitcoin, when all the interest, most importantly, flows back into the space, what are we going to see happen? Are we going to see more bearishness? Because right now we're bullish despite there being no real interest in the space from the outside world. What happens when that interest comes back? What happens when the halving comes in 3 months and every mainstream media outlet starts talking about it? Think about that for a second. Because I don't know about you guys, but I see a perfect storm coming. I see a halving coming up. I see institutional and retail interest coming back. I see a lot of developments in the fundamental space. I see a bull market more than likely about to start. I see a lot of bullish developments on Bitcoin. And even though Bitcoin is very quiet right now, we're still having an uptrend. That says something. That says that there's an underlying bullish tone to the market. That says that people are tired of the downtrend. That says that the bears are exhausted. The bulls are ready on the long term. That says that 2020 is going to be a good year. Tell me in the comments section down below if you agree with that sentiment. You might just say that I've got a real good feeling about this year. I don't know about you guys, but to me, 2020 is shaping up to be an amazing year. We've got this long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern that we're going to be talking about forming. We've got all kinds of developments happening in the space. I'm looking forward to it. I really do want to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments section down below. Tell me, are you dollar cost averaging into the market? Are you investing in the market? Are you looking for lower lows to buy into the market? What are you guys doing in the market? I want to hear your take on this. Are you bullish or bearish? Let's throw a poll right up here. And I want to get your take. Are you bullish or bearish on the long-term market? I'm talking about over a month from now. Do you think Bitcoin's going to be higher or lower than where we are now? I want your take on this. Let's try and figure out what's going on and what the market sentiment is. That's a very important part of technical analysis. I think things are looking up, and I would love to hear your opinions on that as well. And guys, before we wrap it up, I do also want to mention the first cohort because we've been having a lot of fun over there. As you guys know, I post my trade ideas over there. So if you guys want to see where my entry positions and my exit positions are, I'm updating those over in the first cohort when I see them. And we also do the morning coffee and crypto live streams. Tomorrow morning, we're going to make coffee and crypto public to everyone so you guys can tune in and see what you have to offer every single morning around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. The link in the description down below. It's only $25 a month. You can cancel at any time. And if you're in CT2A, you'll get access to a $25 Bitcoin rebate. So you basically get your first month in the first cohort free. It's a great community. People are loving it. There's a lot of memes over there. There's one meme that Jawi made about me. She cut out my face and put it on a bunch of stuff and is really kind of creepy. So if you want to see that, that is in the first cohort also. Shout out to you. And also, hang on just a second. Hang on. I missed something yesterday. Let me find the comment. Someone got very mad at me for this. I'm looking on my phone. Don't ever say I don't love you guys. Suresh wanted me to give her a shout out for joining CT2A, and I didn't. And she said, "Oh, Jeb, where's my shout out? I'm sad now." There's your shout out, Suresh. Welcome to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. We're glad to have you. Hopefully you are okay with the shout out being a day late. There you go. I'm not going to do that for everybody, so don't start asking me in the comments to give you shout outs because I can't do it for everyone, but since they were the only person that asked, there you go. There's your shout out. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to have to wrap it up for today's video. If you want to find out more about the first cohort, you can click the link in the description down below. You can shoot me an email at cryptojeb@gmail.com. You can join our free Discord server and then message me in the DMs and ask me about it. There are plenty of ways to get in contact with me. If you would like to learn more, just let me know and we will get that worked out. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is going to have to wrap it up for today's video. But before we do, I first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.